Okay, we've got another VOD review here. We're going to be VOD reviewing Ollie today. He's going to be in this top left corner. I've watched this back already, so I've already got some notes and things I want to talk about. I won't go into them now, but I will be stopping the video kind of throughout just to dive into specific topics that we'll then keep an eye on through the rest of the video, kind of as they come up. So yeah, I guess without further ado, we'll start with Water Park. Now, first track of the set, you're going to start off in the back here, so kind of fourth place with us. And a couple of things you need to be thinking about at this point about the track. First off, you're going to have, 4 or 5 coins to start with, so getting coins isn't super important. You don't need to go super wide for stuff initially, because you'll find getting coins a bit easier. This track is also quite a runner. It's not easy to catch up on this track, so any mistakes are often punished. So yeah, cleaner driving, being aware of kind of what's around you, that sort of stuff, will help more on this track, because not doing it will get you punished more. So what I want to see as well is you going either for these coins or these coins to start with. There's kind of no reason not to go for them. Don't even kind of attempt it. You got lots of air there, we watch that back. And then once you did get the orange, you then bumped into the wall. So what you want to do really is you want to hop around about here and then drift up. You'll see if you watch my screen down here, I kind of hop right at the bottom of the stairs, and it's super easy to bring that purple up. So go back to you get the orange. Nice strat off there, that's good. It looks like you also missed the item box. Yeah, I don't know why. You could see I was clearly going for this one, and you had this one fine, and then you just kind of went for it really late and just missed it. So I feel like that's kind of an unforced error already, but I like that. Fast approach through there. Okay, so what do you do at this point in time? You've got 2 options. 1, take a tight box, or 2, go wide and take the wide box. First place has a red. We can see here, we don't really know what's behind us or how close people are, but chances are people will be quite close. If you go for the wide one, you risk losing a spot or just generally being closer to people. There's no right or wrong answer here. But yeah, going double here is fine. You go for double, but to kind of miss it. So I'd say that's an unforced error there. You either take the tight line or you get the double. You kind of did neither. Getting these coins is good. Re-rolling that I think is sensible. A horn in that position is not very useful. Now we've got 3 coins up here that we want to get. It doesn't look like you're going to be doing the strat there. So you take the slow glider approach, or the safe approach. What you want to do is, if I go back a couple of frames, you've got this purple boost. You want to keep hold of that until you come off this glider. Release it as early as you can once you're off the glider. You're around about kind of here. And then tap, hop again, and that will get your glider out earlier. It's called a low glider. And then do vector glidering kind of back. If you watch my screen down here, you see I've got that purple boost. And then vector glider back. That's kind of what you want to be doing down there. This is kind of a perfect opportunity to look kind of behind you, especially if you've got that fire. Actually, you've got Joe who's really close behind you, so a quick look behind, you could have hit him out. He almost hit you, which you are also kind of unaware of that snipe potential. Blue shell comes in. Take a wide line there. So we're up to 10 coins, which is good. I don't know about going for that double. I guess it's okay. It's not the worst thing. I've already got this room. You insta-trail this. So a blue shell has come out already. And you used your coin and insta-trailed. So downsides to this, obviously, if a boo comes, it's going to steal this. If a blue shell comes, it's going to steal this. And you're going to be kind of defenseless here. There's not really that much that you need to defend against. I spoke about this in Isaac's VOD. This is kind of a... what's the word? Symptom of awareness, or lack of awareness. You don't know what's behind you because you're not looking. I guess relying on kind of what's on other people's screens, not looking at kind of forward spam or back spam or anything like that. So it's just, I think I'm close to people. Actually, you've got a lot of space here to work with. There's no real need to trail this in this position. So it's just an awareness thing. If you're more aware, you don't need to trail that. The lightning comes out, so it doesn't really matter anyway, but in a different position, you could have been punished there. You want to be drifting right and getting a mini turbo here, you missed that. You could get 1 and 2 around here. Going wide is sensible. You should have really been getting purple here as well, so that was a missed. It's easier to build up mini turbos when you're in the small form, so I would go for that purple there. Tricking off that I think is fine when you're small. Trying to do that glider strat is a bit tricky when you're small. I would take these coins, just take them away from second and third and stuff. We don't actually need them, but generally it's a good habit. Yeah, nice. So again, you drift late. If you drift earlier, you would find it easy building up mini turbo, but because you drift at the top, you only get a blue, which is slightly slower. I like this. Soft drifting, and then you kind of make a mistake there. Driving into the wall twice. And it could be that without that driving error, you would have had enough time to get your second defense out, potentially. If not, the glider stuff that we talked about before would have given you enough room to defend against that. Kind of just those minor mistakes, or even that mini turbo that you missed at the start. So even getting extra mini turbo in here, and then not that driving error, would have put you in a better position to defend against these reds, and you probably would have been okay. So yeah, it's like sometimes those little details do put you in a position where you mess up. I don't understand this. Using that coin is fine. I can see you kind of trying to go for the snipe, but 1, you're underwater, 2, you haven't really got full speed, so that's never going to make it that far. 3, you've not looked at all what's behind you or aware of what's behind you. You just yeeted this banana forward because it's like, oh, it's not a red shell, it's not going to do me any good. I might as well just not have it. It's mostly useless anyway. But now you have no defense. And if 4th here had a red, you would be getting a bad spot. You should be drifting left round and get another mini turbo, so that's another one missed there. You take a really tight line. I would have gone for items then and just gone for a bit of luck. Again, glider strat. And we see the bananas again. You just kind of like decided, oh, those are rubbish. I'm just going to yeet them forward, try to go for some snipes, and left yourself wide open for, you know, someone else behind you to do something. If they were closer or had reds, you could have been hit out there and lost a spot. So it wasn't like too much you could have done there. That was a little bit just unlucky. There wasn't like any item play really that you had much opportunity to do for. You just kind of try to stay in front and trail. Made a couple of driving errors. Weren't optimizing things, so second and third place were able to catch up more because they were optimizing. Getting those extra mini turbos where you weren't doing the glider strat that you weren't doing, so that gap was always closing down on you, and just generally spamming items, which we'll pick up probably in this track a little bit more. So, okay, we're on the starting line. What do we need to be thinking about here? Give you a couple of seconds to have a think. So the things that I'll be thinking about is coins. You got coins here, and then 1 and 2 over here. You want to be going for those. Typically, first place should be going for those coins because it's the best line. Second should probably go just in case. Or they can try and get these coins around here. But yeah, if I was in third here, I would be aiming for those coins. So drifting around here, picking them up, and then drifting around there. So kind of 1, 2, 3 mini turbos with those left. This is also another running track. So you want to, I guess, try to stay in the front, get in front as quickly as you can, get some coins, try to survive until the first or the second kind of item box as well. Typically, once you've done that, you can start then making space. So just being aware of what's around you, trying not to get hit, playing aggressive when you need to, but also any driving errors are massively punished on this track again because it's a runner. So we get 1 mini turbo, that's good. I think you would have got those coins if you didn't get bumped, but that's good. Get the orange. We've had an opportunity to snipe there. And you get unlucky that you don't hit that. That was a good attempt. I'm definitely up for those sorts of snipes. Just a little bit unlucky. You want to be drifting off of this as well to release a mini turbo. So the trick you do is not the fastest way to do it. If you watch me, and I think Joe does this as well, where we go into a drift. Joe actually tricks off of it, which isn't ideal. You want to just release a mini turbo. You can do the low glider strat where you just hop again in midair. I think Joe tried to do it and then just did it too early. Also with a note, so at this point I enter trail because I know Joe is really close behind me. So I think, and there's an item box potentially coming up ahead as well. So yeah, sometimes it's okay to enter trail when you know there's people close behind you. So you get the single box, which is good. Come around here, you get the slipstream, the draft. I don't think, unless you really have practiced it, I don't think drifting off of this is the best thing to do. I think you're better off just driving and getting a good line and tricking. You see Joe does exactly that. You watch Joe over here. He just drives and tricks. You bump the wall and lose some speed because you try to optimize a little bit more. Bump the wall a little bit, unforced error there. Just not familiar with that shortcut. Get a coin, which is good. Probably could have got a purple there, but kind of just slightly missed trick. Get the coins, which is good. Drive onto the track again. And then get hit out because of it. So now we've got 2 bananas. So we just absolutely throw them away. And I kind of wanted to stop the video here and just talk about this for a minute because we saw that a little bit on a water park, and it comes up again later in the VOD as well. And I was trying to understand, like, okay, I guess what could you have done differently with those bananas? We talk about that first. We're on lap 2 here. We've got 1 more lap left, which means second place and first place are going to have to drive through this bit again 1 more time. So your bananas, you could have placed, one like here or 1 by the box. You could have placed 1 right here, and possibly even 1 after the box if you wanted to play really aggressive. You could have gone into a drift and then planted 1 here and here, and just generally made it really hard and tried to set up for a play for third lap. It could be that CPUs hit them out, but you just kind of chucked them away way too early when there was definitely some item play that you could have done with them. And I think this kind of like alludes to some other points or points to some other areas where I don't think you like being in kind of third. You want to be in kind of first and second. You want to be getting, those red shells, those boomerangs, those items that you can play a bit more aggressively with. I guess the easier items, or ones that are kind of like guaranteed hits. You want to be kind of going for those, and when you don't get them, it's like, oh, I've got a banana, I've got a green shell. There's nothing I can do with this. They're pointless. I might as well not have them. They're not going to help me catch up. I want to be in front. And it's kind of, you're missing opportunities to actually make play with those items, to use them well. You also, you get rid of them here without looking what's behind you. It could be that 4th place has red shells or triple reds, and those could have saved you. You use them right up before glider, you could have got hit out on glider, and it could have cascaded into you getting 10th place or something. So, yeah, throwing those items away is not sensible. I was trying to think of a term for this, and what I came up with was it's like a magpie, and the red shells and stars and those kind of power items are like the shiny, and everything else is kind of just trash. Whereas actually, if you value all your items and roll them better, you could have kept them, and even if you didn't want to make a play, you keep them as defense, and then you throw them away here right before the item box. So that way you know you're safe and you're guaranteed to not get hit as best you can up until this point in time. So yeah, I guess the other thing as well, because you threw them away and therefore nothing happened, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that those things are bad. Whereas if you actually made a play with them and then someone got hit with them on the next lap, actually, you're giving yourself opportunities to make plays. And but yeah, it's that kind of mentality of, these aren't going to help me win, so I'm going to just throw them away because I might as well just not have them. And therefore you don't make plays because of that, which then reinforces that mindset that they're kind of useless. But yeah, I encourage you to kind of, I'll go through some more examples as well. But yeah, here, I guess what I'm saying is you could have made some plays, drop your bananas around here, make it more difficult for the next lap, or even just making space for people in, 4th, 5th. The more space there is behind you, generally the better. You don't want to be battling someone in 4th place who then randomly gets triple reds, for example. So if you've got more space, you've got more time to react, more time to get item boxes. Cool, let's continue anyway. So again, we've got fire and a boo here. These are actually quite powerful items. What I would be looking at is whether or not we're close enough to make a play around kind of the cut. If not, actually, this can be really good for backing to make space. Got a bit of an unforced error just driving. I think you're just trying to spam so much. This boo, I would try and keep as long as possible. There's no real reason for you to use it at the moment. If you're going for the double item box, I would use it now to see what you get and then re-roll the double. If you're not going for the double, I would get the single to fill this item slot and then use your boo before the next item slot. You kind of use it straight away. Another kind of driving error. Got triple greens here. And again, just you just spam all your items. It's same as before. It's like, these aren't going to help me win. I might as well not have them. You left yourself wide open for 4th place. 1st and 2nd are quite far ahead, which means 4th, 5th are going to be getting triple reds. Lots of red items. The back's going to get lots of items and stuff as well. So getting rid of 4 defensive items when there's 1 item box ahead, 2 corners away, and without knowing what's behind you, I think is just getting annoyed at what items you have. You get a red, you insta-turn, you throw it off immediately. Again, if you had... Yeah, I don't know about... I guess it is able to kind of hit Joe out over here because he just doesn't have that, but I would still have been tempted to wait until the next item box to know that you're safe, or at least look behind you to see what they have. you get a star, you kind of use that immediately. It's really difficult to tell in case there's a shock, but using it a little bit later would have saved you for the cut a little bit more, I guess. Make sure you don't get hit or ruined over that. It's also possible that a boo comes out and steals this right before the cut and completely wrecks you. So you can actually use your star here as a guaranteed way to make sure you have a cut. So by keeping it in your first slot, they can't steal your shroom. So if you hold it a little bit later and use it now, even if you get booed, your star will last over the cut. But yeah, you could have got booed at this point. You drive into the wall, kind of another unforced error, and then it's just, I think you're able to keep it because of shock, but if you actually look about what's kind of behind you, you know, 5th place is coming up with a bill, triple shrooms, and who knows what, they could have got reds and stuff, and you could have lost spots there. You got a little bit lucky the lightning came out. Should have tricked over that ramp, could have lost a spot there. Yeah, so the summary of that one, I guess, is just unforced errors, driving mistakes, and then not doing anything with your items. Or you could have had a much worse spot there than 3rd. Okay, Animal Crossing. What are we thinking about here then? Yeah, and give you a couple of seconds to have a think about what you should be thinking about for the start of this race. Okay, so we're in 3rd place. You kind of, I guess, things I'm thinking about is potentially looking for drafts on 1st and 2nd. Guaranteeing an item box, you want to do that as much as possible here because you might be able to get a red. It's also kind of a running track as well. It's quite hard to catch up on, so unforced errors will get punished further. Okay, guaranteed an item box. Trail immediately, which is fine. Nice line through there. Okay, you trick off that. You shouldn't really be tricking off of that. Just keep your mini turbo. Keeping a banana there is fine, to be honest. Getting those coins is good. What mini turbo was that? I don't know if that... I don't think that was an orange. I think you could have just held it a little bit longer. Yeah, that definitely wasn't an orange. So you're losing time there. Now, I mentioned this in Joe's VOD. I probably wouldn't go for these coins on the first lap while everyone is still really close. Because Amisha's here is in 2nd. And if she takes the tight line, she's going to catch up with you really quickly. Backing that is good there, getting the coin. You can trick off this surface. You can trick off this bridge here. So I think Joe should do it. Yeah. You get unlucky with double reds. I was trying to think if there was like anything else you could have potentially done to avoid this. I don't think there's much else you could have done. There's no opportunity for kind of like a wall dodge anywhere really. You drop that fine. I guess the only other thing, if you know 2nd place has a reds, I mean, you could have dropped your banana in the middle because that's where the red shell is going to go, but yeah, I think this is just slightly unlucky. Like, it just happens. However, now at this point, look behind you, understand what's going on. You would have spotted fire that's coming up from Joe, and you could have potentially dodged here. There's only one real fireball coming your direction. You could have dodged to the left slightly. There's also a boomer coming up that you could have seen, but yeah, when he does that, you kind of just get completely shocked about what happens because you're not aware of what's around you. Driving error again. I mentioned this in Isaac's video. It's like there's this idea that, okay, I'm not in 1st or 2nd. I need to catch up as quickly as possible because I don't like being back here. And in doing so, you spam items, you do everything you can to try and get back as quickly as possible, but when you get back into the front, you're not in a position to then to hold it or make any plays because you used everything to get there. You've not been collecting coins properly. It's just kind of this frantic rush to kind of get into first. Whereas actually sometimes going slower can be faster. It's just, taking your time, looking for opportunities, being smarter with kind of items and plays and stuff. Okay, so you do know how to do the glider trick. That's good. 1, 2. I mean, as I mentioned before, this is a running track. You're in 5th place here. Like, this just kills your race. Like, you have no opportunities now to come back. You have 0 coins with a lap and a half left. Unless you shock dodge, you're not coming back here. You get lucky that you don't get hit with stuff there, and again, you, in your eagerness to kind of just drive as fast as possible, your awareness kind of, suffers a little bit. So you just drive into that banana. Again, kind of like spamming that forward straight away, and probably not the worst thing in the world because you need to use a stream to speed up, so I don't hate that completely. Taking the cart is good. Yeah, you could have saved that stream. You have no defense. So you could have either saved it in case you get hit to recover, or use it for the cut up ahead. We've got triple bananas here. Again, not kind of able to do lots. You're on the last lap here, so not loads of opportunities for plays. Again, you throw them super early without knowing what's behind you. You just get, okay, I'm not going to be able to do anything with these, and launch them. You actually got quite a lot of air here. You could have tried to go for a snipe here, or launch them forward as you come off this and try to go for some sort of snipe. Or just keep them right until the end to make sure you don't get hit. Throw one behind you now, just as precaution. Again, oh, I want this red. This red will help me. I'm just going to throw all these out straight away. Just like spam them. They don't like here. You would have, I don't know. You had 3 clear shots that you could have taken on people. You did kind of just spam stuff immediately. You did well to kind of get 3rd here. But yeah, you lost that race through driving error. You didn't get particularly good items, but yeah, that driving error, you just didn't get lucky. And I think as well, I mentioned this before in someone else's VOD, maybe Joe's, that there's when racing, you have a 30% chance that 33.3% chance you're just going to lose a race. You're just going to get unlucky. There's going to be unlucky lightnings or blue shells and things like that. You're just going to get wrecked. There's not much you can do about those. You just take those L's and move on. There's another third where you're just going to win. You're going to get quite lucky. We'll see one of those later on Wario Stadium, I think, where there's nothing you really did massively that made you win. You just got lucky with things, and therefore, you didn't make any massive mistakes and you just kind of won. It's this last third here that's going to make the difference. These races are ones that you have to actively make a play to win, otherwise you are going to lose. This was kind of one of those. You made so many mistakes that it didn't matter about how lucky you got. Like, the amount of mistakes and things that you did, you had no opportunities to make plays to win this. So yeah, that would have been you would have had to rely on luck, a lot of luck to win that. So yeah, just kind of bear that in mind, I guess. Sweet Canyon. So yeah, powerful at the end here. Lots of kind of blue shells, shocks and stuff. You want to be getting an item initially, see if you can get 1 or 2 coins, hopping on the glider to get your glider out quicker. And just, you can probably play a little bit aggressive at the start here as well. Miss the item box. You brake there, which is good. I don't think you actually needed to brake, because you just... I was in a slipstream anyway, but yeah, probably better safe than sorry. Just awareness again, looking behind you, not knowing what's behind you. You're less likely to get hit with green spam if you take this tight box. But because you're kind of basically going now in a straight line through here, it's a lot easier for people to kind of hit you. So if you're going for that box, you should probably be looking behind. Good freeze frame. I actually look behind here and realise that it's actually safe, so I don't need to worry. Okay, so we've got a shroom here. Shrooms are really powerful for the end. So, and we just kind of just spam them here. Now you're in second place. With a single item box, you get a red, which isn't going to help you too much, but you could have taken this cut here and still had, you know, the red in pocket. So going back to what we said before, it's just spamming your items. It's like, oh, I get a red shell, I'm going to keep this and use as well. But it's like mushrooms, I'm just going to use them. Also coins, you're not going for coins, you drive into the road, so it's another kind of unforced error here. Again, I don't know if Joe would have backed this bomb here if you didn't throw that red. I think Joe tried to back the red but didn't think about it skipping him initially because he was in Ghost. This bomb would have been hard to dodge, but yeah, I think I would have held that red for longer. Again, you're defenseless until this item box, so you're just open for people behind you, especially, you know, CPUs or whoever, to punish you. Save that red until this item box, unless there's a reason for it. And yeah, you know, in third place there's not really a reason for it with what's in front of you. So a premature red, and you get punished for it. Lucky shock dodge, doesn't do too much though. Hop on the glider again, you missed that. Gets your thing out faster. Yeah, you just make a bad call on this item box here. I don't know if that's an unforced error or not. But yeah, I could have at least tried to get a single or gone wide. Get head out. So this is kind of like an interesting thing. This is, if you watch my perspective, I get the bomb. I know a blue shell is already coming. So I want to create as much space as I can between, you know, me and second and third place. So as soon as I see that blue shell, I'm like, I'm backing this bomb here. And that's going to help me stay in front. And because of that, I keep first after the blue. We watch what happens. So you miss the item box. Because you miss the item box, I think you also get punished there again. So even though you got unlucky with that red, it was still, there was something you could have done to prevent that. Should be getting the double there. Yeah. Go for coins if you can. Just no coins there. There's no, you're on one coin, you need them. 2 there, 3. I think you get lucky with a shock, to be honest. I think you're in a much worse position if that shock doesn't come out. Insta trail, I don't think you needed to trail here. The CPU has a coin. They're not going to be hitting you out. I think you need to keep that. And the reason I think you need to keep that is because after cannon glider, you can do something called a fast green. So if you land kind of where Joe is, you fire your green now, your green gets like all the cannon momentum and it just absolutely skyrockets forward really fast. It's really good to kind of snipe. So if you had your green here and you fired it, bang, Joe is dead. If you didn't trail that green and did a fast green, you would have gained a spot here. 100%. Actually, I think Joe even fires it. Does he do the fast green? No, he does it late. So he did it slightly too late. You want to do it about now. Ollie just at the end of the glide, he does it slightly too late, but he went for it, which is good. Missed the item box again. Get the double here. Yeah, take a bad line and you drive onto the road. So there, like, obviously you could say I got lucky, but I identified at this point the blue's out. So, you know, I start slowing down. So I've stopped. Joe then overtakes me, I start driving forward, I get this item box. I then look at my items, and now, in your position, you would probably just spam these. Just get rid of them. But you notice I keep them for a long time, because I want to make sure fourth doesn't hit me. And I want to look for opportunities for plays. You had some opportunities for plays, which we'll talk about in a second. So I back. Now I don't want to fire these forward, because if I fire them forward, I risk wrecking myself. So for me, the play isn't to hit you out here, is to take the cut. And also this is a fantastic backing spot down here. So this is something you could have done. You have a green shell. You could have backed me here and or at least made it really difficult for me to make this cut. I say it's a really good backing spot. Joe got wrecked by my green. So you know, while it's easy to say, you know, oh, you got a shroom for the cut, you make an error, you don't make a play with a green shell. There's an argument to say that if you drove a bit better around here and got more mini turbos, when you got to the end, you could have been in a position to then green shell me. Like at this point, I'm now too far away. If you drove better around those corners, I could have been about here and you could have had an opportunity to snipe. So yeah, this is kind of one of those where you had to make a play to win it and you didn't make a play. And then you just drive off. I don't think you lose a spot for that, so I'm not going to mark that as an unforced error. But yeah, you had an opportunity to win that, but you had to make a play for it. And unforced errors just meant that, yeah, you missed out. That was that set. Got one more set here. Wario Stadium. Again, another runner. You want to kind of get an item here is almost not getting an item here is really scary. If you get a head out, it's really hard to catch up. Unforced errors are punished a lot. This is a very technical track as well, so there's also opportunities to kind of catch up. But yeah, you kind of want to be defensive as much as possible on this track, unless you're able to actively make a play. I mentioned this on someone else's, I think Isaac's VOD. You give yourself zero space here, and the only option you get is to hit that box, which you miss, and then drive wide. I'm going to mark that down as kind of an unforced error. Like, you could have, you know, driven out to the right here a little bit more and given your option between these two boxes. But you're so tight, you're asking for trouble getting bumped into that. And now you're in ninth and on a running track. What you want to do coming off of this ramp, I don't know if anyone else does it, you want to do a little drift, like a left drift off of this, and then trick. That's kind of the fastest route. No one does it. You don't need a trick of these. So if you look at your orange boost, so we go from here, like your orange boost lasts, still get, you get a really long boost from these, and there's not an opportunity for the trick boost, which only activates once you land, to actually do anything, because you still got momentum from the panels. So yeah, you can just drive straight down them, a bit like Wildwoods. You just drive, then on the last one you trick on the last one. So you actually benefit from it there. If you wanted to know, there's another strat that you can do. So mini turbos are faster than the boost that these give you. So I still can't do this consistently, but you do like a hop left and then get into a right drift on here. And you take kind of like this wide line. Then after this third boost panel, you have a mini turbo built up, and you release a mini turbo here. Because the mini turbo will get you from here to here faster than what this ramp can get you there to there on. And then you trick off the last one. So that's, if you wanted to practice some stuff, there's one to practice. Again, there's another strat you can do here, where you do like a hop left, hop right, hold that over the ramp. You build up a mini turbo in the air and you release. And then you hold another one off to the right and release an orange when you land. It's just generally a little bit faster. You got reds here, that's good. You hold one. I would have been tempted to throw those. Again, the fastest strat off here. You actually want to drift off this one and not trick, so hold your drift all the way down. And it gets you on a nice line for the cut as well. You trick off of that and you don't get a purple boost. So again, you want to release your mini turbo afterwards. And then you can low glider off of this. You should be getting those coins. You need those coins. You should be getting them. You try to do the little hop strat, you need to trick off of it as well and stay in your drift. You only got, yeah, not the most optimal. Get a bomb here. You insta trail this. I don't know about insta trailing it. If someone is close behind you, it's a bit dangerous when you're small. So you could, I would just keep this untrailed and then look at, you know, I think backing air is a sensible play. I like that aggressive. It's not the most optimal play. It hits them, but you look about where you drop it here, right? They are going to be slow for this amount of time before they get back up to speed. So if you watch, you know, who gets hit, Amy. She was out for 2 seconds and now she's kind of fully back up to speed. If you were to drop it here and they get hit, now they have no boost panel afterwards. So Joe would have gone straight into that and he would have had to drive slower for longer. So it would have been punished a lot more for driving into that. So yeah, just kind of being aware of when you're using items, you fall off the track. That's because of the ink, just need to be more aware of that. Yeah, I like that play. Again, that's a slow strat there, so just learning the track a little bit more will help you go faster. Okay, you do get the coins. Not terrible. You get a horn. So here at this point in time, you've just used your coin straight away for zero reason. You're on 10 coins. You do not need this. You do not need to use this coin at all. Keep it for boo protection. This could get stolen. I mentioned this on Isaac's VOD review as well. Like, there's not been a blue shell yet. It's likely there's going to be one on this track, given how well we tend to race it against CPUs. So yeah, you should be thinking, you know, going into lap 3, I need a reroll for items, I need a reroll for a horn or a shroom to dodge. You get one, keep hold of this, use your coin. I'm actually going to turn this up here. And look what happens. You get booed, and a blue shell comes out immediately afterwards. And the complainant comes in, I've just had my super horn taken. That was your fault. Just, yeah, sorry to say it. That was a misplay, that was an unforced error, which led to this position. You then kind of go to, I think you bomb straight away here. I don't think that's an optimum spot to bomb, and it leaves you kind of like wide open for anything else, like, you know, even backing here, or you're really lucky this red shell hit this banana, because your bomb could have destroyed this, and not only destroy it, you could have backed it here and you would have wrecked a lot more people. So yeah, you kind of just wasted your bomb. And this is one of those races. This is, you know, I'll go back to my little diagram here. You know, these are ones you're going to lose. These are ones you have to make a play. This was one that you're just going to win, and you happen to get really lucky that, you know, even though you misplayed several times, you still won. So that's kind of those sort of the races that you just get lucky on. You know, second and third place don't get lots of reds. That red luckily breaks, even though you threw your defence away. You know, you're still in first after the blue, even though you throw your horn away, basically. Wario's gold mine, again, kind of a bit of a runner. It's really hard to catch up on, so a bit of a theme on here. Any mistakes get punished. What I've also not really seen much of is this like more advanced kind of like item play or anything yet. A lot of your play has been kind of quite predictable. You know, backing items or dropping bananas at sets, things like that, just throwing them away. Especially when you're kind of in first place, is like getting first trail and then just, you know, kind of rinse and repeat. What Joe, Isaac and myself have been doing a bit more in the last couple of weeks has been a bit more strategic in some of our item play, be more aggressive when appropriate, and be a bit more unpredictable. What that does, you know, if I am in second place and you're in first place, I know I can take tight lines. I know you're not going to back, you know, bananas or green shells in certain places. You're going to play a lot safer generally. And yeah, even if you're not safer, your backs are more predictable. So I can play around those a little bit more when I'm behind you. When Isaac's in first, you know, I would say Isaac's a lot more unpredictable than anyone else at the moment, which is a good thing. So, you know, when I go around corners, I'm being mindful. I'm watching him, watching if he backs, watching what he's doing a little bit more, and going wide on certain corners just in case he backs, because I can't see round. So those sorts of things can force other players to take wider lines, can force them to make mistakes. So yeah, just a bit more unpredictability in your item play and things like that as well can help when you do get into the front in our front running. Again, going back to that bomb, you know, here, this is still somewhat predictable. It's like, oh, I got a hit. Isaac did this as well in his VOD review. I got hit, so I'm just going to use my item straight away, rather than kind of being patient with it and doing something a bit more unpredictable. Or, you know, even the threat of your bomb down here can cause a misplay from someone else, can cause them to back off, to go wide. By just spamming it, you're kind of losing all of your play opportunities. And your opportunities to be unpredictable, because you're just spamming a lot of these items. You miss a coin there, you should really be getting that. You're not the cleanest. I wouldn't say it's an unforced error. You get a box. Trailing here is fine with how close everything is. Get the two, or get one coin, that's fine. The second one is tricky to get. Keeping this banana here is fine. Also still getting the double, this is good. Double defense, nice. So these are kind of opportunities where actually, like, you know, the predictable side of things is going to be, I'm going to drive up to the next item box and then back one or two of these, and then second place is going to know that and is going to, you know, I do this sometimes. If I'm expecting someone to throw away an item by an item box, I will fire my red before the item box and time it so they can't get the defense out in time. So you know, you could have played aggressive here and dropped a banana on this ramp, and it could have potentially hit Joe or made him swerve off and fall off the track. You know, you have two defense to work with. and you're in first place, so you kind of should be thinking, I need to create space behind me, and I need to re-roll for items for blue shell dodges going into kind of the next couple of laps. Getting further away doesn't always getting further away in front doesn't always mean driving the best and getting good items. It means making plays, creating distance through item play behind you, and re-rolling and defending against blues as much as you can. So again, that's just kind of like a really random time to back that banana. Like this is not doing anything. You could have backed it much later. It's just throw this away. I'm not going to make a play with it. I think you actually get a red shell dodge there, or it hits the banana, luckily. Blue shell is out as well. So I guess you can't really tell at this point, but yeah, now, so this item is going to go. You probably still have just about enough time to back out if you were to realise it earlier. Second place is really close. In theory, they can dodge. So you have an opportunity now to back out. If you want to be super sweaty, you can probably back out and still hit them with a green or something. But yeah, this. You throw that bomb forward, that's kind of an unforced error. I can see you trying to throw it back. I still don't know if it would have hit based on like how close Joe is. I think he would have been able to still go around it and get in front. Especially if he saw it coming, he could have just shroomed past it. So yeah, I don't know if that bomb was a play. You just throw both your items away. The other thing, I guess, is, you know, you're in a really narrow part of the track here. You know, really narrow. The blue shell is coming out. Because you reacted late, you go to throw it in one of the wider parts of the track. If you noticed it here, you had an opportunity to, you know, to back a bit earlier. And now you threw both your items away and you get punished for it again. Twice. Almost fall off there. Nice green shell snipe. Get the double, yep. So we're on second lap now. The first blue shell came out at the start of the first lap, so you should be thinking there's potential for another blue to come out here. Or potentially even a shock as well. So just things to keep in mind at this point in time. You got... Oh, literally, there we go, there's a shock. I think this works out really well for you. I think Dan fell off, just randomly just fell off the track, trying to drift too early. You also get this boost panel, which gets you back up to speed a little bit more. Bad drifting there. I'm going to mark that as an unforced error, just slow. You get double reds. Cool, I'm just going to spam them as quickly as I can. Predictions on what's going to happen next. So yeah, first place obviously has that. If this was me, I would have held those reds until the next item box and fire them afterwards. But you kind of throw both of them because it's like, oh, I can hit first out, and then you get hit. And then immediately complain, oh my gosh, what's hit me, after throwing both your defense away. So I think that's kind of an unforced error there. You just throw double defense away and then get surprised that you get hit out afterwards. You also at no point look behind you to see, does the person behind me have reds? I mean, at this point they haven't even like got them out. You've thrown them before third place has even like got items. So you really don't know. They're so early, they're so premature, and you get punished for it. Like, and now you're in fourth place with 3 coins. Like, this is a dead race. Again, you're not going to win this unless you get lucky. bit of sketchy driving. Get the double there. Again, as I mentioned, yeah, blue shells come out again. I mentioned that before, right? Start of the second lap. Bear in mind those things are going to happen. Even when you're at the back, think they're going to happen because it can change how you use your items on certain tracks. Rather than thinking, oh, I need to get into first. It's like, actually, there still could be a blue shell to come out. I could potentially be in third here, not fourth. And I'm making plays there. Again, missing a mini turbo. Getting a bit lucky there. You just throw all this stuff away and just spam. And within, I've never seen someone get rid of fire and triple bananas so quickly. I think you do hit out someone. I think you hit Amy out again with the fire. But I think here would have been a better place just to spam up ahead and make it difficult for everyone to take this cut. You could have potentially stole second then if you just held your items a bit better. Unlikely, but yeah, because of your plays earlier, you were not in a position to win that. And you would have had to make a play to even get second place there. But yeah, you just got punished. Moo Moo Meadows, lots of runners here. Again, really hard to catch up. Unforced errors are going to get punished lots. I mentioned it before, like, don't limit yourself to this box. Aim for the first two if you can, and give yourself some options. Oh, first two, there we go. Give yourself some options. Okay, just missed the outing box. That's just bad lines. Lucky kind of first gets hit out here. Get the double. Insta trailing without seeing what's behind you. But fine. Kind of helps you out a little bit. Bonking the wall again. Just going to slow you down. Should get these 2 coins here. You got a boomer. You're going to want to keep this. Just something else to note. Yeah, 1, look behind you. This is great. 2, this is also a really good backing spot if you got items. You should really be getting that coin. There's no excuse to miss that coin. You missed the drift there. You missed the trick there. Okay, good looking behind you. Get the trick. Nice. Try the wall dodge. Good effort. Unlucky about the blue shell. I'm not sure what that was. You just get a banana and just absolutely yeet it. I'm putting that as an unforced error. Like, I'm guessing if you're trailing, you need to get rid of it because it's going to throw it. But you weren't trailing it, or if you were trailing, you shouldn't have been trailing it. Oh, you're going for a banana snipe. Okay, I'll revert that one then. You're going for that. Now, it's not actually that much quicker, so the time it takes for you to recover from a banana and a blue shell, I think, is the same. The benefit to hitting this is that when you hit it, you get forward momentum still, because you spin out while moving forward, whereas a blue shell, you stay put. So the fact that you kind of threw this wide, still missed it. Like, even if you hit that, I think that would have been slower than just taking the blue shell tight. That made sense, because I don't think it would have helped you. And now you get kind of punished for not having defense here. So kind of good attempt. I thought it was a little bit unnecessary. I think you're better off just taking that blue and then keeping your defense. Good kind of fire. A bit premature though. Again, if you're here, you could have hit her out. Again, you kind of just used a lot of it. The other thing to kind of bear in mind is, first kind of, with the driving errors and things you missed on this track, you would have been in a much better place to take, where there's a blue come out. You would have been in a much better position to take this blue. And you might have even kept first place. You know, that's not that much distance, and you could have potentially lost that just from driving errors and not missing any turbos and bumping into stuff. And again, if you had a banana, you could have kept that and then trailed, which would have kept, you know, potentially could have kept you in first place or at least second at this point. Again, you get a head out, look behind you when, you know, things like that happen. But it's generally getting punished for just throwing items away. I think this is the last track for the VOD review. You should be getting an item here. Even if you know, you're in the back, just go wide if you need to kind of guarantee an item. Going for coins is good. You get unlucky, they don't get taken. Left path is the right choice here. You get coins. I would go for this coin up here, but I think you go middle, kind of miss it slightly. Get the double. There we go. There's the item magpie again. I got triple bananas. Those are useless. I'm just going to throw them all away. And they do absolutely nothing. You keep them. You actually got triples in front of you. Using them for defense against that was really useful. They can block, you know, this CPU back to you. They can hit your banana in front of you and protect you. I mentioned this on another VOD review that I did as well. When you're in the air, throwing bananas down onto people is a lot easier to aim, so you can get downward banana snipes. Right there. If you had the triple bananas out, hitting this snipe would have been relatively easy, and you could have hit out Dan in second place. Kind of insta trail again, not really knowing what's around you. That green is good. Again, just kind of awareness, looking behind you. You throw that really early. You're lucky that red didn't go for you. You could have just got punished again. It's just, I got hit out. Throw green shell in anger. Just, you know, the next item box is all the way over here. You're not going to have defense until then. Keep your defense until you actually need to throw it away. Could also be that you back someone here who's also trying to take cut behind you. Not the cleanest cut in the world. It's slowed you down. Whether or not I call that an unforced error, I don't know. You do identify an opportunity to hit first out here. You missed a mini turbo there, which is a bit slower. You missed the coin there. Yeah, one coin. I personally would have gone tight there after knowing that I just hit first out. My priority would be like, I just want to get in first and then go for the coins on the water. Like, try to take this tight. I mean, there's actually your bananas that you left out on the first lap. So if you went wide intentionally because of those, then fair enough. But yeah, and I guess if you were intentionally putting these down for the next lap, then fair play. But there's better places to leave them if you were doing that. I feel like you just spam them. Blue shell's out. We should be saving this for the cut. Yeah. Oh, so you know how to do that. You just get unlucky there. Again, you're trying to hit out. Again, just like super aggressive. I got hit out. I need to hit people in front of me without kind of thinking about what's going on. Second place has double reds. You want them in second place because they're going to head out first place. And you are closer to second place than you are in first place. So yeah, using the fire to aim me out is good. I would not be going for the play onto second place here. Actually, no, at this point they have triples. Yeah, they fire one. If your fire hit, they could have broken this, and then Joe's way in the front with 10 coins. Luckily you don't hit, and Dan's in a position to make plays here. Joe gets lucky with the lightning. Dan gets unlucky. I'd say here as well, you get really lucky. You're in a really good position to drift on this, to build out that mini turbo, and you'll grow quicker while going over these, which will give you an advantage. I think the only reason you do well here is because of the shock on this track. You managed to run Dan over. You grow quickly, take this inside line. Unlucky that gets booed, but again, you don't have any threat at the moment, so not the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I think this is again one of those like races that are in the third of like you were just going to win. That shock you got lucky on. I don't think you really made any plays. You just like happened to have driven well enough that the game decided to let you win. I mean, you drove well, but when you look at kind of like making plays, like if I go back to Sweet Sweet Canyon here, for example, I back out of the blue shell. I keep my green shells and shroom for another item set. I don't re-roll them to make sure I have to fence and to create space behind me. I could have easily backed here, but I played patient. I could have easily just tried to fire them forward to play aggressive, but it could have wrecked me. So like that's one of the plays that I'm on about. That can help you kind of get first. Sometimes it's just a really good snipe that you do, things like that. But yeah, that was that. Get first place on that one. So I guess, yeah, kind of in summary here, don't spam your items so much. They can be really useful. Look for opportunities to use them. If it's not for this lap, look for opportunities for the next lap. Place them in awkward places for first place next time to hit. Be aware of them when you do that you are also going to be taking those lines. So if you're the only person taking that line, don't pack them there. Try to be a bit more unpredictable with your items, other than just like either trail mode or yeet items mode. Be patient with your items a bit more. But yeah, there wasn't kind of loads of opportunities that you could have made plays here, and that was a lot of the time because of missed mini turbos, missed tricks, missed glider strats. Just little things that kind of me, Joe and Isaac are typically doing, which just puts us a bit further ahead, occasionally on some tracks. So just making sure you're hitting those will give you more opportunities for those aggressive plays, which give you more opportunities for wins. But yeah, again, just unforced errors. What are we on? 20 unforced errors, which is 20 divided by kind of 2.5 per track. So yep, insta trailing I think is a side effect of just awareness, using a review mirror more. One easy way of getting used to that is when you're on a straight and just driving in a straight line and doing nothing. Look back. When you see a red shell indicator, look back. Use those as a two opportunities to start with. Practice those and the rest will just come more naturally. Minimap awareness, when you see blue shells, you see them late, so you don't react, you instinctively react rather than looking for plays a lot earlier. For example, going back to Sweet Sweet Canyon. So if Joe identifies here, earlier there's a blue shell out, he should be thinking, okay, first place is going to be making plays. I need to be careful of this path. He could have gone this path and been safe and gotten first. Or blue shell could land during here and stuff as well. So yeah, just knowing the blue shell is coming out and therefore being aware of what's in front of you could be really useful. Yeah, I think those are the main areas. Unconventional items can be really powerful. Be patient with them. Try to be unconventional with them. Be aware of the minimap. Have more awareness of kind of what's behind you. If you're going to double spam your red, look behind you to see if you're going to get redded first. Got punished a lot from just spamming items. So a lot of the unforced errors were just not counting some of the item plays as well. Be comfortable sitting in third and fourth. Be comfortable. Don't try to get in front as quickly as possible. get your items, focus on your lines, focus on your item play, think about what you're doing, you know, work hard so you have opportunities for the next lap. You don't need to get into first place in the next three corners. You need to get in first place at the finish line. You know, you've got a lap and a half to do it, for example, here. So just take your time, build up, and you'll start noticing more opportunities for plays. And just be calm and be comfortable in those positions. And worst case, you keep third, but you don't get wrecked into, you know, fourth or fifth. Or you can make a play for second. You know, the benefit from playing in second and third is that lightnings tend to benefit you. Blue shells tend to benefit you. So, yeah, get your coin count up. You know, do what you can to play into those, and to know that first place is likely to get wrecked, and put yourself in a position where you can capitalise on it, not be wrecked by it. So yeah, that's quite a long-winded one. Let me know if anyone else wants kind of a VOD review. That was quite a long one because there was like 8 tracks in there and some quite detailed stuff that I wanted to go through. Generally, racing is good. There's definitely like lots of the small things add up, and you leave yourself open a lot. So you balance your aggression with defensiveness and awareness, and you'll find yourself in the front a lot more, I think. Time trialing, learning tracks, learning coin lines as well, being comfortable with coin lines, rather than reacting to, you know, a corner's coming up, I have to go wide for coins here. Being comfortable guessing those coins. The more that you play back in kind of second, third and fourth and going for those, the more comfortable you'll get doing them. And GG's.